Okay, first off, audio probably sounds different. My nice, shiny, brand new, and I might add, not exactly cheap microphone system. I think it cost me around 600 bucks. Shure wireless microphone system. Yeah, all the noise I've been having in my audio and my videos. Yeah, it wasn't my... I was thinking it might be my beard rubbing the windscreen on the little headset microphone. No, it was the blasted transmitter, apparently. I found that even with the microphone unplugged from the transmitter, if I just rubbed my hand on it, or even worse, if I tapped the thing, it would peg the dB scale on my, the audio dB scale on my camera. So yeah, bad transmitter. So probably it's microphonic, in other words. So maybe a bad ceramic coupling cap or something in it. So in any case, that got sent back to Shure. So whenever I get that back, so for now, audio or the microphones are in the camera. So this video is specifically for Peter TRXbench. You just did a video showing your new Hakko hot air station. I mentioned in a comment, I thought I'd do a quick video to actually show it to you, because a lot of times a picture doesn't really give you a good idea of what something is. So I have one, and what I'm talking about is the holding fixture for your handpiece. Now, of course, when you're using smaller tips, stuff like this, you don't need a holding fixture. You're just going to be holding the handpiece with your hand, taking off a transistor or even a smaller IC or something. But if you're working on really large ICs, or especially if you ever get into doing BGA rework, these holding fixtures are, I don't want to say they're priceless, but man, it's hard to do, especially BGA work, without it, to do it properly. I mean, you can get away with just using an air nozzle like this, but you can't do it properly. So the advantage of this is with your base unit, you can set a step profile. Now, granted, this is not a $50,000 or $100,000 component fixed system, but this is basic entry level into doing some of the stuff those fancy ones can do, and this fixture makes that possible. It allows you to set your ramp temperatures on your base unit. Stick your head in here with the proper nozzle for whatever IC you're using, and you can get these things from Hakko themselves, or you can get aftermarket ones from China. And honestly, I've got both, and the Chinese ones work just as well as the Hakkos. There's not a lot to them. They're just stainless steel. I mean, as long as they get the dimensions right, that's all that matters. But this holding fixture, what it allows you to do is, for starters, you don't have to hold the handpiece. You can very precisely orient your heating nozzle directly over the component that you're replacing, taking off and reinstalling. And it allows you to move it up and down. So what we have here is a big heavy base plate, and don't mind the radio over here I'm working on here. It's getting restored and been battling the frequency counter and that thing, and finally found it was a bad frequency counter IC inside the counter module. So I'm letting that sit there and cook for a while. So I thought, well, while I let that sit over there and warm up, I'll just do a quick video to show this. But big heavy cast iron plate. Like I say, they make this in a more modern, fancy version. I don't think they make this exact model. This is a C13. Trying to look over the camera here. 1392B model. And it is a Hakko. It's the real thing. Like I say, I don't think they make this specific model anymore. They have a new, kind of like when they upgrade these things, they just come out with a new, fancier model and charge you more money. These things are ungodly expensive, I'll tell you that right now. If you're looking at a new one, yeah, be prepared to have a heart attack. Keep your eye out on the used market. eBay is a great place, of course, and it is a big, heavy fixture. Really well designed. This thing, yeah, would look at home in a tool room in a manufacturing plant. I mean, it's a very precision. I mean, you can almost use this for an instrument calibration measuring stand. But big heavy base plate, arm, the head, pivots, okay, has a collar here. Now, that's the only thing that might be a little bit clunky, setting your initial height for this arm. It's just a set screw in there, Allen head cap screw in there. Set the collar up or down on this shaft to adjust the arm height. But the big advantage of this thing is once you get the initial height set, as far as moving this part, because this part here moves independently of the arm, there's a little handle over here on this side that moves up and down. So what you do is place this over top of your whatever you're replacing down here. You would lower this, and it also has a little set screw here where you can set the, like a depth adjustment, so you know how far down you can screw that little collar up. It's just a bump stop, and then this flat piece here hits that, so it won't go down any farther. But yeah, not a lot to it. Very smooth operating. Looks like nylon bushings down in there. Like I say, just really tight, and man, the quality's just wow on this fixture. But yeah, there's not much to it. Like I say, it's just, it makes, I've used this for years, and man, it works really well. I mean, it's so nice to be able to just put the proper nozzle on, set the circuit board under here, set my temperature profile on the base unit so it can, slowly step up through the temperatures. That way you're not shocking the board or the components and whatnot. I can lower this down, heat the component, reflow the solder, lift the head up, pull the part out, clean up, put the new one down in there again, then just lower the head down, install the new component, and you're done. Taking your hand, now you don't have to worry about, oh yeah, but my handle's going to be stuck in this thing all the time, going to be a pain in the butt. Other than if you're using a big nozzle like this nozzle here won't pull up through here. All it holds this in, just unscrew that little thumb screw right there. I will actually have to take this nozzle off to get the handle out, because like I say, it's just a little bit too big to fit through the hole. So if I pull that nozzle off, it just sits down in there. That's it. It just whoop, drops in the hole. So yeah, nothing fancy. The other advantage is if you're using with tips that have a pass-through hole. So your handle has this little critter that shoots out the end there. Looks like a little probe. Well, for people that aren't familiar with it, this is a vacuum pickup. So the handpiece has the rotary knob here that moves that in and out. It has a push button here. It's actually two separate push buttons, or a rocker switch. This one controls hot air. This one controls a separate little vacuum pump inside the base unit. So when you hit this button here on the back, or rock the switch back, it turns the vacuum pump on. And what you do is you put one of the little high temp silicon vacuum cups on here. So using a fixture like this, what you would do is, you'd have this in here, you'd reflow the solder, you'd then lower, or you could even lower your head down, a little bit more to where that suction cup would then come in contact with the IC. And then when you lift this head off, the component comes off the board. It'll be stuck to that little suction cup. Then you just swing this thing out of the way, turn the vacuum pump off, and the part can drop off into a little collection tray. But yeah, so using the vacuum pump's really handy when you're using this fixture, because you can now use this fixture to actually remove the part. Solder becomes molten. You lower the head down a little bit more. Suction cup comes in contact. Then you lift the head up, and it removes the part for you too. So there you go, Peter. Like I say, I just thought I'd show that. Like I say, keep an eye out on the used market, eBay, or whatever other auction services might be in your country. I know we have some other ones other than eBay here in the U.S. But yeah, handy tool, man. I mean, trust me, you'll use this thing a couple times. Honestly, it'll pay for itself in time savings, and just you're doing a more professional job when you do IC removals and installations with this thing too. There's no guessing. Oh, my level. There's like I say, it's the cat's meow.